Evening, Tony. Yes, just had dinner. It's actually quite nice out. It's about 17 degrees, a bit of rain, but very pleasant, very nice. Only got 13 kilowatt of power today, but it was basically cloudy all day. A bit of sun in between the gloomy. Just watching through the window the footy match, Geelong playing Collingwood. And Collingwood are just in front, and there's 30,000 people watching them. Oh, right, yeah, nice. Better have my coffee before it goes cold. What'd you have for dinner, mate? Something extraordinary, I'm sure. Probably baby back ribs and a nice barbecue sauce. Chicken stir fry. Nothing wrong with a chicken stir fry, that's for sure. The wife's here, she might say good day to you today. Something.
Hello, sorry,
there you go.
playing a game.
She's just on the computer playing a game. He says hello back, dear. So all the work at the front on the round is finished, the plumbing's finished, all the guttering, downpipe, stormwater, all done. Now we can look at getting front fence, paving, then paint the front of the old house. Well, all the old house. Did see a sneaky little thing that Mr. Trump did today. I don't know whether you noticed it. All the reports from hospitals in regards to infections, deaths, and all the data normally goes to the CDC, and which is a body that literally looks after all the information. But now, Mr. Trump wants it to be sent to the White House, so he put it next to the shredder. Hello, Danny. I'm listening while I get ready for work. I'm running a bit behind. I've always thought you had a bit behind.
What?
Just kidding. Yes, so he's decided that all the information won't go to the CDC, it will go to the White House in a room next to a very large shredder so he can just destroy all the information. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. To bypass the CDC, which has been doing it all the time, forever, they don't want them to have that info. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people working in hospitals scratching their head. I think you're going to see a lot of hospital administrators come out and do interviews with television saying, well, here's the real facts and here's the data. We did send it to the White House, but apparently it got shredded under the heading of an inconvenient truth. All the information from hospitals in the US and all their information to the Central Disease Control, which is the CDC.
Yeah.
That's the stats that you see each day saying there's infections, whatever. Well, Donald Trump, in his wisdom, has said, no, we won't do that anymore. Hospitals won't send it to the CDC. You'll send it to Washington.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So,
Why?
well, he can just hide the figures.
Yeah, but the figures still originally are going to be from the originating place.
Which
so
is the hospital.
Exactly. So that will never be wiped unless
No,
someone...
you misunderstand. It's like all the hospitals sent it to the CDC and it was recorded and released each day.
I get that.
Information sent to the White House may not be released each day.
I get that.
Figures may not be true.
But the original stuff will still be where it originally came from.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to see a lot of hospital administrators say, I'd like to do a press interview, thank you.
Yeah, so people, it's going to be there. The truth will come out if they try and hide it. It's simple.
It's a blatant case of just being in control of things that you don't want people to know about. I'm sure Danny's sitting in the background tying a ponytail and nodding. I just can't believe it myself. It's not my country, but how bad does it get? Pretty bad. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of pissed off frontline workers saying, you're what? We're not sending it to the CDC. We're sending it where? Ivana Trump would be sitting there with a nice little tin of beans pressing the shredder. Is that all right, Daddy? You're doing a good job, girl. This is nearly bordering on criminal.
The daughter's not going to do that.
Maybe she doesn't know how to press a button.
Oh, it was the niece that wrote the book, wasn't it? Not the daughter.
It just staggers me. When I read that today, I thought it must be just someone bullshitting. But no,
Look,
it ain't.
We can surmise whatever, but me personally, my intuition, people are going to keep copies of that. There's original copies.
No, the copies will all be in the hospital always.
That's right.
Just the information is passed to the CDC.
And it'll be released.
What I keep telling you, what's going to happen is that major hospital administrators and even smaller hospitals are going to come forward to the media and say, well, you know the figures you're hearing from the White House? That's not the true figure. Here's the true figure. This is going to bite him in the ass like you've never known.
People sign a thing saying they can't release the information. Somebody will leak it.
No, hospital administrators can just do a press conference. The next thing we'll know, there'll be a gag order on hospital administrators.
That's what I just said.
No, it's not going to happen. The people are not going to stand for this.
Anyway, what did Tony have for dinner? I missed it. Chicken stir fry.
Chicken stir fry.
Did he make it himself?
That's what I'm saying, Danny. There's going to be a lot of pissed off administrators saying, this is blatant what's being done. And there'll be press conferences from hospitals all over the US. I will 100% guarantee it. Of course, Donald Trump will then try and write an executive order saying that hospital administrators and all staff need to sign this waiver and you're not allowed to speak to the media.
Exactly. That wouldn't surprise me, but...
I told you the only difference between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump is about 12 inches high.
And
Donald's a bit taller.
somebody will leak.
Oh, you don't have to leak. They will just do it.
Oh, no, he didn't cook it himself.
You can bet, Danny, the words from the president would be, oh, look, the figures that you're hearing from these individual states, it's all fake news. You just need to listen to Washington. We'll give you the real news. This, for me, I'd put someone in jail for doing this. This is blatant attempt to cover the information.
Well, then he's no better than China, is he?
He's not going to be there. Like I say, the bit I worry about is between November and late January and the handover period. It could be very dangerous.
It's not worth getting your blood pressure over.
No, I'm just annoyed for Americans. I am frustrated that Americans are treated like cattle. They're just numbers. This president has no empathy for people at all. It's all about the economy, which is terrible. Based on his economic record, He takes credit for every time the stock market goes up, takes no credit for when people get buried. Don't want to know about it. Didn't happen. It's fake news. He will pay a major price in the future. I tell you, he will be subpoenaed, he will be in front of Senate committees, and he will get his ass burnt. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
How's it going in Sydney, Tony? I heard there was some increase today, but not a major one, which was good.
Looks like a mist in the sky, or is it sprinkling?
I know exactly where you are then. Good part of the country. But still, they're all coming past you. Apparently the roads between Queensland and New South Wales are at loggerheads. People are just crawling along because there's so many people want to go to Queensland.
Why do so many people want to go to
Because
Queensland?
they want to get out of New South Wales. There's still a bit of the school holiday, see? So they'll be going, probably heading northern New South Wales. They'll do Tweeds, Gold Coast. Yeah, oh geez. How are they getting there?
Yeah, it's not good, okay?
Shouldn't be there. Well, you just keep yourself hunkered down, Tony. Do what you have to do. And drive over the buggers in your 18-wheeler. That'll fix them. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Obviously, I crushed 40 Victorian cars by mistake. I haven't heard back yet. I think you'll be good. We've got 12 cases here, but they're all foreigners in quarantine. When I say foreigners, some of them are Australian. Like they come back from India, Brazil,
Because they've been
South
stuck over
America.
there all this time, eh?
And they just, I think, remember they said they're limiting it to one mate, 270 a week or something here. So as soon as they land at the airport, they get on a special bus, they get kitted up, they don't get a choice. There is no, oh, I don't want to do this. You get on the bus, they take you to a special quarantine, you stay there, you're tested day 3 and day 11. And on day 3, they know whether you've got it or not. That's where the 12 come from out of the last 270. I'm sure there's plenty of Aussies that want to get back home. And I feel sorry for them, but they're doing the right thing because they have limited resources for quarantine, so they're just making sure that after that fortnight goes and the rest of them are allowed to go home, they fill them up with the next lot.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for the ones that got stuck. But there's also a percentage. Now, we would have been in the percentage that would have cut our holiday short and come home.
Yeah, yeah.
If people who had sat down and thought properly, used a bit of common sense, think.
I just look. I mean,
let's cut
I
our
look at it at
holiday
a different
short.
level. You've probably got, let's be honest, 100,000 young Aussies between 20 and 40 that are just backpacking, and they don't have a lot of money. So
And, well, again, that's right. Depending where people were, if they didn't hear early enough, yes, I get it. But there's a percentage, and we would have been in it there because
yeah,
that's
we'd have
it.
come home. Yeah.
Cut our holiday short. We're coming home.
Yes, this year really has turned into a Stephen King narrative. Children of the COVID. Yeah, that'll be right.
They are very clever, Charlie. Oh, you said that, children of the COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, of the stand, yeah, possibly. And like Stephen King, there'll be several books on it over several years. The one that is alarming is the reports from Italy. Special units have been set up to treat people who have gone back to hospital. They've recovered from COVID 3 and 4 months ago, but now they have brain lesions, heart problems, skin disorders, circulation problems. So a lot of people don't realise that the effect of the virus is not just the lungs and coughing, and that's what is the message is not getting out about the unrecovered. So this will be, I know this is a big statement, but this will be a generational issue for the next 20 years. What I'm saying is in 15 years there'll be huge amounts of people getting terribly ill from having had the virus 15 years earlier. And I don't want that to be, but I can see that being the case. I just can't believe that people do not take this seriously. Yep, you'll be able to hunker down safely and go insane watching that. What happened to Tony Abbott? Well, he never got the virus, but now he's been in a mental institution.
I haven't watched TR.
So, jacket on, bangs his head against the wall, demanding, I want more TR. I want more TR. My daughter is just about to burst. The baby is so big. And I think it will definitely be delivered by next Friday, not this Friday, one way or the other. What's TR? I have to use these words for you, Danny. Don't go down that rabbit hole. There's an e-beggar from
Way back.
a long time ago who is deluded beyond belief. Well, they wanted to go to 39 weeks, and that won't happen. She's just too big. And then she went in for some sort of a sweep.
No, that's happening.
Oh, she's going in for a sweep when?
That's,
Thursday.
So Thursday, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. And that will determine
That will.
and induce, to a certain extent, for a Friday delivery. So next Friday looks like the delivery date.
So the sweep thing that they do, if that doesn't cause natural labour, 4:30 sometime during Thursday night, she'll be in 6 o'clock Friday morning to be in.
Oh, I don't think she'll be on Thursday, staying in.
No, they just send you home.
That's a bit silly.
No, that's how it works.
Due date is probably still.
That's.
See, next Friday will be about 38 weeks. So 3 weeks from now is the due date, I suppose, in 40-week terms. But that's not how it works with pregnancy. It's never always exactly 40.
So next Thursday, well, Danny will understand what I'm saying. It's called a stretch and sweep. If that doesn't start labour naturally sometime during Thursday night, whatever, she'll go in 6 o'clock and be induced. If she had have decided to go down the caesarean route, they wouldn't do it until she was 39 weeks. Because there's a period that they still prefer to wait to make sure that they have no lung difficulties or anything.
Yeah, it's better for the baby, basically.
Yeah, but if she... And her due date was meant to be the 5th of August, but I don't know, I think they've got it wrong because it's just too big. She's too big to be yet due, not due, you know what I mean, Alan, till the 5th.
No, look, she's due now, in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's head down, which he has been for a week,
Ready
which
to
is
go.
good, because he was moving a lot, wasn't he?
Hmm.
I can't believe how warm it is.
Yeah, 17 degrees here, Danny. Celsius. Mind you, it's probably a bit warmer where you are. I hear you've been getting a bit of a wave.
So I have to be on alert.
Yeah. Anywhere between now and next Friday. Could even be earlier. Could be a natural induction. Yeah, I saw that. Mind you get the warmth like we do. Probably further north in Texas gets a bit warmer, I guess, but where you are, it's pretty hot. But your index of humidity, that's the nasty bit. We have a thing in northern Australia. Well, I caught it in the late 80s. I got Ross River virus, which is very similar to malaria or West Nile. I believe you guys have West Nile and another one. Is it dengue?
Dengue's like Indonesia.
In Texas. Yeah, but no, Texas gets it because all that warmth comes off the Gulf. And they get all that humidity, and mozzies love all the water and moisture around. I mean, the biggest, still is today, biggest killer on the planet is malaria in one form or another. Can you imagine an alien task force coming down over the last 10 years studying all the things that are dangerous here? Well, they probably did come and thought, nah, not staying here. This place is full of stuff. Definitely don't go to Australia. But yeah, they'll be thinking twice about inhabiting the planet, thinking everything out here is to kill us. There's a footy match on probably 10 minutes from here at a big place called Optus Stadium, holds 65,000 people. But tonight they've let 30,000 people in to watch the game live. Which is good. So everyone in this state feels quite comfortable. There are 12 current cases in our state, but they're not from our state. They're from overseas. So I was telling Tony earlier, they land on the runway. They don't come into a docking, and they all get on special buses. I think there's only 20 to a bus, so there could be like 10 buses there, all sanitised, taken to a quarantine area. Day 3, they're tested. Day 11, they're tested. By day 3, they generally know whether they've got the virus or not. And then there's a different protocol. They stay in quarantine till they're cleared. There is no, after 14 days, you can go. Not in my state, until you are cleared twice. Then you can go. And a lot of people think it's a bit draconian. We've closed our borders, no flights in. To an extent, there is some that do come in, but they're from other states that are the same as us. Don't have any problem.
The storm's going to come.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a bit of a storm from the Arctic tonight. It's very warm. It's always warm before an Arctic storm because it draws tropical air down, pushes it ahead of it. But when the front gets here, it turns bloody cold.
So William will come here and stay Thursday night.
That's a good idea.
Obviously Mark's going with them to have this thing done.
Well, if William comes here, even when you and Mark are there with her,
I know that thing she's having done Thursday at 4:30.
yeah.
I'm not going to that. Mark's
No.
going with her.
No, what I meant was, Mark wants to go for the birth.
Oh yes.
You will be there, but
Yes.
not for the birth, for
Yeah.
the baby.
Because she wants me there.
William can stay here.
Yes.
And then you can keep informing us what's going on.
Yeah.
They're
he
still
wa-
only allowing 2, aren't they?
Yeah. William wants to be there as well, but it's just too long to wait.
No. And then just get, if you have to, just get the Uber home.
I feel very honoured she's asked if I want to go with her.
Hmm?
I never
She
pushed
wants you there, but she doesn't want you there.
She said you can be there for the calming effect. She said, do your
magic.
Yeah.
They've still got protocols in our state and hospitals about who can and can't visit. People can visit their people in nursing homes, that's not an issue here. But things like births, accident trauma, they only allow one other relative in. They allow 2 for births, but only 1 for trauma until they're cleared. It's automatically done here. Blood tests, no, they're good. Because I am, and I'm sure most people in my state are under no illusion, it could rear its ugly head again. Haven't you've not got grandkids yet, Danny? I thought you did. Hasn't she got a grandchild? I mean, it's very young to have a grandchild, of course, but maybe she started early. Well, I suppose that's fair enough, Danny. But yeah, no, I know the
Yeah,
feeling is still
it's
like,
the-
hang on, still my grandchild.
Yeah, but it's always the daughter with the mother more than the daughter-in-law
Yeah.
with the mother-in-law. The daughter always wants the mum.
Yep. You can't have too many people while someone's in labour. Let's be honest, most women that are about to give birth want people there, but they don't want them there. They want you to go in and out of the room as far as their mood swings. Get out, come back in. Get out, come back in. Hello, Patty. Good to see you.
How's it going, Patty? Daddy.
You might have to give her the birds and bees story. Now, darling, sit down. Mummy wants to talk to you. You did get fired on Monday.
Oh,
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. As long as you walked out of there with your dignity.
yes.
Sounds like this person was very vindictive.
Sorry to hear that, Paddy, but is it final? Is it, can you do anything about it? Wrongful dismissal or anything?
I suppose I feel sorry also for some of your tenants. She doesn't have to in Kentucky. I wouldn't be living in Kentucky. We have unfair dismissal rules in our country.
So is that for real, Paddy? Just because it's Kentucky, she doesn't have to? How's that possible in this day and age? The way things are going, like, you know,
Well,
people fight for rights and all that, how can that be allowed?
I can just imagine your tenants, yeah, you're just saying they're upset. I imagine they're thinking, are we next? Which I imagine's on the cards.
Yeah, find out, Paddy, because this day and age, that doesn't sound right. I could be wrong, I don't know the laws over there.
And it's not like it's a surprise to you. You said you had this feeling and the way this person was acting, and so there's a prelude to the event occurring. I don't believe any state in the modern world today would not have an unfair dismissal ruling. Kentucky must still be in the 18th century. Yeah, so there's a prelude to that happening, which is your evidence. You must have some sort of body in Kentucky that look into unfair dismissal, irregardless if it's not the ruling by law. Because there's two things that happen. One, there is a ruling by law, and then there is a civil issue. But I fear for the tenants, if you're gone, if she decides just to bring the guillotine down on them, saying, well, you're out, and you're out, and you're out. You'll bounce back, Paddy. There'll be things coming your way. Good people don't go unrewarded. quite a few cases here that are highlighted where people, basically, the boss didn't get on with you or something, or made up trivial complaints. Hello, Buttercup. And then with evidence and information, the people that did the firing got huge fines and the people have been reinstated. Yeah, there's a meaning behind all that, Paddy. And like I say, you already let us know a couple of weeks ago that the prelude to this could be happening. G'day, hi. How you going, buddy? We need to know if Buttercup can get into her garage. We have some warm weather here, hi. 17 degrees tonight.
I got an email from Hi saying I have him now, and I said, be prepared to get annoyed from me.
Yeah, look out.
And I said, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, been raining all day. We've got a big front coming in, but it's all tropical air. This thing's pulling in first. As soon as the front hits from the Antarctic, yeah, then it'll be cold.
So we're going to see this slither of a old Butty because she can't get into a garage because she can't get her food, so she can't eat.
No, she just said, yes, I am.
I said, are you still locked out of your garage?
So she says, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Well, you have a better than the super thief-proof one. It has the super owner one as well. You can't even get in there. Surely it's just a locking device. Is it an automatic up and down door, or you got to lift it or swing it sideways? What sort of door is it? Trust me, if I was there, you'd be in your garage by now.
Actually, I haven't actually asked you, Butty. Is it a big door or is it just like a normal side door? No, well, otherwise she can't get in.
Oh, it's a garage door. Victoria had an outbreak, and what they do in Australia with an outbreak, they've closed Victoria down for 6 weeks. Stay home. That's how it is. In Western Australia, we've got 12 cases, all foreigners that flew in, and they're in quarantine, so they're not out on the street. We've got 30,000 people at a football match as I speak. There is no transmission community-wise, but we're all aware here that it can happen. But at the moment, it's not.
It sounds very sus, Paddy. You read Paddy's comment?
I'm listening.
She is the regional manager for 14 properties in Kentucky.
Well, the good thing is you can either make a trip to or contact the head office.
Yeah, and Paddy's...
And explain that, you don't mind if you have to move on from position, as long as it was a fair dismissal.
Yeah.
Could they please look into it and mention the 7th manager she is fired?
It's like she's trying to cover up something.
Buttercup, what Paddy said before you got here was that in Kentucky there is no law of unfair dismissal, which I can't believe, but there isn't.
There's no law saying she's
So
told...
if it was in the UK or in Australia, trust me, if you're dismissed unfairly, the employer is in big trouble.
And you can ask why you were fired. Paddy's saying that in Kentucky there's no law saying that she has to be told why she was fired.
I've been in business a very long time. Now, even if I didn't like you, Paddy, how I work in business is that if you're doing a good job, I have no problem with you. Even if I don't like you, it's business. That's how it would be with me. But if someone is vindictive and just has the power to remove somebody, that's a different story. That is vindictive and also targeting. So pursue it, by all means. I would. Take it to the top, take it to the side, wherever you got to take it. And on occasions, this always seems to work. On occasions, Paddy, you could call your local newspaper or media outlet with facts. It tends to raise the of the person that does this, because you're not doing anything wrong. You're just explaining that you were dismissed, but you think, and people around you. I mean, I'll give you a good example. I'd get affidavits from your tenants on how you treated them, because that was your job. You see where I'm going with this? If you have, say, 10 tenants that say, no, I don't know why she's been dismissed, she was brilliant, then there is an issue.
Ears, Tony.
All right, Tony.
Don't forget the ears.
On goes the music in the shower. You can just imagine the music. Tony all sudsing up.
Yeah.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Well, if they want to write something up for you, Paddy, let them.
I would definitely get them. Now, you don't need to get an official affidavit. You can just get a letter from them. If your position was to manage those tenants and it's their opinion that you were the best thing since sliced bread, that's going to work in your favour, which would indicate your dismissal was a personal issue with the person above you and it was vindictive, not based on business. Because if someone worked for me and say they were dipping their hand into the till, or, you know, a couple of actually are missing every month, yeah, I'd probably have you investigated first by the police. And then if you did what I think you did, I would definitely have you A, arrested, and B, removed. But that would be a warrantable dismissal. But if you've done nothing wrong, and the tenants, in other words, the people that you're in charge of, if you like, think that this is crazy. And another thing which happens in a lot of country towns and smaller states in the US, lots of nepotism. I wonder who's getting your job, Paddy. Someone that related to her? Good friend? No, I don't think you would. That's why I'm saying you should pursue this as far as you can. I like I say, if people have not done a job and they work for me, I would pull them in and say, look, you either need to lift your game and perform, not asking you to jump through things that I wouldn't do myself. But if you refuse to do that or continue on your behaviour, unfortunately, you will be leaving the company. So they get a lot of forewarning. I've just walked in there and fired them. But if your tenants say, no, I don't understand why she's been removed, and she's always been kind and attentive to our needs, well, it's not the job that you failed at then, is it? That's my point here. If you haven't failed in your function in your job, it's then just coming from above as a directive, be it vindictive or whatever. So yeah, I'm like Buddy. I would shake, rattle and roll everything I could, get the evidence built up, get letters from your tenants or emails from your tenants and pass it on to the Home Office and let them know that something's not right here. There's got to be a body in Kentucky, like I say, there's always advocates for workers. Even if there are no unions anymore or whatever, there are worker advocate people who can pursue things legally. But your biggest weapon is the people in the building, the tenants. If they cannot understand what's happened and they don't realise that you've been removed for no reason of them calling the head office, it's like, well, they don't have the ruling in Kentucky, Buttercup, for unfair dismissal. That's what Paddy said earlier.
Well, yes.
So there is no law, but there is civil law as well. There's a big difference.
She said there was no law saying that they have to give her a reason why she was fired.
I understand, but the basis of dismissal, a civil action can be taken. Have a little bit of tobacco, please. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Either way, it sucks. Well, my worry for your tenants is that if you're removed, really for no reason, they're next. Your actions won't cause their removal. That may already be planned, Paddy, is what I'm saying. But do whatever you can. Don't just walk away from this. You know, at least if you go through these processes and you're still unsuccessful, at least you can say to yourself, well, I did what I had to do.
Bit of a gust of wind.
Well, they have to get the reason from the employer. There'd be a form that they would have to fill in, which will indicate the reason for dismissal. So she may not have to give you a reason, but they'll have to give them one. Oh, there is no floor here, Paddy. You're sitting in a chair just having a natter. We're just listening. It's definitely worth pursuing for the simple fact it's unfair. Irregardless of the outcome, it's still unfair.
It's fine, Paddy, talk away. Sometimes other people's little views or little comments they put in will help you to clear your mind and work out how and what to do next.
See, it would be very hard for anyone to use these words. The reason we dismissed Paddy was because she wasn't collecting rent from some of these tenants. Now, hang on a sec. Some of these tenants don't have any money.
Well,
So there is a social issue to this as well.
they'd investigate that anyway.
Well, in Australia, you can't be turfed out of your home. A rental agreement's one thing, but if you fall on hard times, the landlord just can't remove you. And most landlords in Australia, if they're smart, have rental tenancy insurance. So let's say a tenant falls on hard times. They get 13 weeks, I think, of free rent, literally. What happens is that if you've got rental insurance, you get paid by the insurance company. So there's no real loser. Yeah, I can imagine, Paddy. It's like the whole world is completely ripped apart. Whereas you're not an in-house manager, you come to work. They do a lot of that in Australia. They'll have like a 40-room tenancy, and one room is given to one person to be the caretaker. They get a small wage, but they don't pay any rent. And they report disturbances, fights, damage, you know what I mean. They don't fix anything. They're not carpenters or plumbers, but they're on site. Yeah, I understand, but you do have a home. I just read what your first paragraph was about. You got a home on the river where some other people don't have an option. Most people, like say, do it here. They're under tenancy. They live there full time. If I was required to stay in a tenancy building as manager for 95% of the time, I would want definitely round about $800 a day in pay, guaranteed.
Okay, Danny.
All right, have a good day at work, Danny. $9.50 an hour. Every hour of the 24 hours, Petty? Because if they haven't been paying you for 95% of the time at $9.50 an hour, they're forcing you to stay somewhere without payment. Yeah, it might be a sort of a back pay thing happening. Several years, probably, I don't know, $200 a day. Yeah. You might end up owning the building.
Oh, Tony's
Quick as a
walked
shower.
in the room.
You must have just got a light spray. 25 hours per week. Well, that's as long as I'd be there. 25 hours a week. Thank you very much. Oh, you want me to stay longer? Well, you're paying me for every hour I stay here.
There you go, there's stars for you, Tony.
Yeah, I've never accepted that in my life. I know people have tried. I had to go up north quite a lot of times doing survey. And the guy said, yeah, it's 4 weeks on, a couple of weeks off, and they wanted me to stay there for the 2 weeks off. I said, I'm not staying there. Oh, you got it. Well, you got to find your own way back. I said, well, I'm not going then. And then they said, because you do 12-hour shifts, that's pretty normal, and then the rest of the time you're off. They tried all sorts of sneaky things. I've actually just told them to shove it up their arse. Unless they pay me for being there, I'm not going to be there. It's like when I was on call as a prison officer. More often than not, you get called in, then you get paid your normal wage, which is about $480 a shift, 12 hours. But if you didn't get called in, you got paid $20 an hour for doing nothing, but you're on call. I don't know what a copy of a child means. But yeah, I mean, you're full time, and as such, you should be paid. Oh, I see, yeah. if you're on call but only get paid 25 hours full time, and if you're on call for the rest of the time, there should be an hourly rate. It's akin to slavery. In other words, I might be a tenant knocking on your door at 10 o'clock at night saying, oh, I can't get into the laundry, can you come and see what's going on? Yeah, I'll come down and do that. You're working. That's it. There isn't like you're not working, you're working. So you're on call. None of us are perfect. But is it a union statement? Could be, but I always use these words. Fair day's pay for a fair day's work. No more, no less.
Yes, it works both ways though, Paddy. You treat someone with respect, you should be treated with respect and fair as well.
Like say in Australia, tenancy managers generally live in the complex, pay no rent, but do get paid a wage. And they have normally two, don't they? They'll have one, either you live there or you have the occupancy of a building, but you might do 12-hour shifts where one person may not want to live there. So you do your 12-hour shift, stay in the unit for the other 12 hours, then go back to work. But you can rotate.
Well, the nursing home I worked in down south, they worked for 3 days, 4 days. They stayed in that block, that nursing home, you know where I worked?
Yep.
And they were, those 3 or 4 days, that's it. They were on call because they were in the same building. They were locked in, the doors were locked at night, you know what I mean by locked in. Doors were locked at night, and if any resident needed her, she had to deal with it. I think it was 3 days.
Well, there is one thing happening in the US this month. Those bonus checks are going to be stopped. There's no talk from the US government about extra money. And maybe a lot of people that own properties are thinking maybe it's time to evict people. I just have a feeling like Buttercup that there's another motive to this. I don't think your tenancies will be much different than millions of tenancies where they've got no money to pay the rent. There's no support coming in anymore. People will become ruthless. There was a case in Perth many years ago, and it was a Chinese investor who flew into Perth, bought 12, it was like an old motel on the outskirts of town. And they promised the tenants they were going to fix everything up, new paint, clean the driveways up, you know, they're going to do all the world. They increased the rent, did nothing. And then they had an on-site manager he phoned up and said, I want everyone out. And the on-site manager said, that's not how it works in Australia. He said, everyone out tomorrow. Take all the keys, kick them out. And this person said, no, in fact, I'm not moving. They stayed there for another 12 months, didn't pay any rent at all.
Oh, yeah.
They had the council force the owner to fix the plumbing, the sewage, and paint certain things, and he got no revenue. You treat people like shit, it comes back. I wouldn't give it to her. I'd certainly post it back to head office. I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. I just use the words, it's in the post, back to head office. Time and date stamped. Like I say, if people do the wrong thing, they deserve to get fired. It's as simple as that. But when they don't, it's a different story. Credit card used by a site manager, you need to be accountable for it. I certainly would not hand it over to her. I would go to the post office, get a registered mail, date, time stamp, and I'd take a photo, and I'd send it to the head office, and I'd say it's not here. I sent it to head office. So if she wants to utilise that card, when she gets it, she'll have to sign for it. It'll all be in her name. At the moment, Patty, it's in your name. In other words, you have access to it. I wouldn't give her one chance to set me up, like spend $200 or $300. Sounds good, hi? I bought some interesting sausages from our butcher today. And Danny's not here, but they're bacon flavoured. And they're yum. She does sound like a nasty piece of work, Patty. You do whatever you do to cover your ass, get your tenants, if they're willing, to give you a reference. Otherwise, what was your performance like whilst you were there? I'm pretty sure that they would do it. I ran a Pepsi franchise, and I had on the other side of it a home delivery bottled soft drink side, separate. And they were the same company, but about a year into we had 2 truck drivers doing work just on home delivery. And the company said, well, we're going to have to close that down in 3 months. Would you let your staff know? I said, sure. So I sat around with them. I said, I've got plenty of contacts. But I've got to let you know that in 3 months you won't be working here, but I'm doing my best to find you alternative work. And within 2 weeks, both of them had another job and they left. So we closed that side of the business in 2 weeks. But I had some good friends in the trucking industry, and they said, yeah, send the boys over, we'll give them a job. Bacon flavour, so yeah. This butcher makes all sorts of things. There's even jalapeno sausages, you name it.
Oh, well, that didn't work for a Patty then, did it?
Yeah, I know it's hard to take the personal side out of it because it's been a very personal attack on you, Patty. But become pragmatic. Work on the things that you can do. Get information, provide it to head office. Find an advocacy of some sort to pursue the unfair dismissal. Don't let them live on with that grin on their face is what I'm saying. Some baked potatoes, a bit of chopped up bacon, great. Oh, sounds good already, mate, in the oven.
The police had the grin on their face because they knew Patty, knew she was no threat. That's what Patty meant.
I know, but it boils down to that grin, I believe, will change in the future. You can't, you can go through life, people can go through life doing the wrong thing and getting away with it. But it's the old karma, it comes back. And to have any joy at all telling someone they're going to be dismissed, that is sick. There's no joy in telling someone they need to go. Yep, you have every right to do that. Just make it a mission for the next 30 to 40 days to do as much as you can to highlight the unfair dismissal. And I would be, without much doubt, after I gathered all the evidence I needed, be contacting a local newspaper or maybe a television channel. Patty, don't drive today. You'll be thinking of things that you shouldn't have. The foot will
Yeah.
be going down.
Just stay home and
You stay
be
home and cook some
calm.
baked spuds with some bacon in and some sour cream and chives on top, just like High's doing, and let the day go by. You would have, without doubt, the phone numbers of your tenants. You're entitled to speak to them. I think I've been caught twice in my life, speeding. Oh, I love baked potatoes. Something special, something earthy.
Yeah, but it's even better with the cheese and bacon on it.
Oh, yeah.
Other.
Got to get a big spud to do that. Can't do that with little spuds.
I mean, you can do it with little spots.
How I would deal with it is pretty simple. I would go full on for 30 or 40 days and say to myself, okay, that's enough. If I've exhausted everything I need to do, I'd just do it and then I'd let it go. There's no point in the end flogging a dead horse, but it's certainly worth kicking it a few times to see if it moves. Yeah, 10-4 rubber duck. High country's on the move up the coast, yeah. Just put 15 police officers every 3 kilometres. We'll get him. Tony's going to get something to eat now. Yeah. The dismissal sounds more ulterior motive to me. Like, I imagine now that you're removed, that the new rules and regulations will come in and a lot of your tenants will be having U-Haul back up to their units and say, we've been booted out. And I think that's happening all across America. Sadly, we're entering a very dark period. Something special about bacon. I'm trying to find a food that wouldn't go with it. I can't find one because it always tastes like bacon anyway. Bacon's good for you. If I owned a state in America, it would be called Bacon. You could live in West Bacon, North Bacon, South East Bacon, but you'd be bacon. You'd be a baconer. Be a big flag with a pig on it, flapping in the breeze. Yeah, just a bit of bacon can make a meal definitely different. Tell you one of the things I do like to make, and normally I get 3 or 4 crusty rolls, like miniature Vienna loaves, you know what I mean, that sort of roll. Open it up, cover one side with mayo, maybe the other side a bit of barbecue sauce. I lay out cheese, raw onion, but I cook the bacon first. So it's all full of this stuff. Close it down, wrap it in alfoil, whack it in the oven on about 160 degrees Celsius for about 15, 20 minutes. Gets crusty on the outside. All the cheese melts into the bacon. Bloody delicious.
How much is our bacon?
I bought some the other day. It's about $17 a kilo for streaky.
What's that in pound?
There's 2.2 pounds, so it'd be about $8 a pound in America.
Well, no, Patty was saying hers is 7. I was asking what would ours convert
Pretty close,
to?
yeah, 7 or 8, about the same. No, you can relax today, and I think driving is off the cards. I think cooking a delicious meal, maybe having a little tipple with it. Turn on the telly, put the slippers on, Well, maybe not in summer. Put the aircon on, relax. Write down. Can I just give you one tip, Paddy? This is how my mind works. I'd relax, if I could, and then I get a piece of paper and a pen. I'd be writing down things. Every now and then I think of something. Okay, yep, contact tenants. Yep, write another thing. Find out if there's an advocacy for unfair dismissal in Kentucky. Write that down. And then when you've got a list that you're happy with, act upon it. But think about it first. What's a kilo of bacon in New Zealand, mate? Yeah, a little bit of mustard with the mayo. I've done that as well. Just you're putting your order in, aren't you? That's all you're doing.
Yeah, we'll be there shortly, hi. We'll be there for breakfast. Well, we'll be there quicker than Butty.
Yeah, you can cook bacon in the oven. There's no problem with that. You can do that. I just like to cook it in a fry pan. I rarely put any oil in at all. It's just the bacon fat. Yeah, make a list, Patty. Like I say, if it's the only thing you hear what I'm saying tonight, make a list with things that you can pursue. And like I say, put the pen down and have another coffee or whatever, and then maybe another hour later you write something else down. And don't act on it today. Give yourself a bit of a plan. Because there's nothing worse in life of either being accused of something you didn't do, or being dismissed unfairly, or treated badly because of someone else's glee and disdain. They're all bad things. And you should stand up when those things happen, because if you don't stand up and make an attempt at least, and it happens again, you see where I'm going with this? I would do whatever I could to rectify other people's thoughts about me, like maybe tenants think, oh, we kicked her out because she was hopeless. That's not true.
I've seen that, Buddy. I've seen people do it in the microwave. Oh my God.
Oh, look, I don't cook anything in a microwave. I really don't.
We just use it sometimes to reheat, that's all.
No, you reheat in the microwave. I generally go for a pot. Yeah, it's easy to get angry, let's be honest. It's a lot more fun to get even in time. I've seen all these weird things. They have bacon rack things. You put bacon on and put it in a microwave.
Yeah.
And it comes out covered in crap. It's like, no, not doing that.
Or doing
$23 a kilo. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive.
Wow.
You can buy the cheap bacon, which is your big eye bacon. And that's something like about $15 a kilo. But I like the streaky. It's got a different flavour.
Oh God, Tony.
It's like that song. We all love bacon. We know what the song is, don't we? Just cook me bacon in the morning, darling. Just touch my ham before you leave, darling. Just cook me bacon in the morning. Yep, that could be our theme song. Streaky bacon's the way to go. Do you know what streaky bacon's also excellent for doing? High. You get good prawn. Yanks call them shribs. We have prawns, probably about the ones 3 or 4 inches long, and wrap your streaky bacon around it and put a couple of toothpicks in it under the grill. That goes really well with a little garlic sauce. Very easy to make. But just imagine that bacon wrapped around the prawns, coming out sizzling. Take the toothpicks out. Maybe add a bit of rice with it if you like. But definitely a bit of garlic sauce, which is just garlic. For me, garlic sauce would be like garlic, butter and a bit of cream. And you'll love it, mate. Trust me. Get a few prawns and try it. Yes, I believe it's a criminal offence to microwave cook anything. Forget bacon, but anything. Yeah, what I always do first, I make the garlic sauce first. bit of butter, garlic in a pan, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And then reduce, add a little bit of cream, stir it around so it thickens up, stop, take it away. Then I cook the prawns wrapped in bacon because it only takes about 3 minutes.
Do you like
Get crispy bacon.
Do you like prawns, buddy?
I'm going to go inside.
What seafood? What seafood do you eat, buddy?
She eats whole surf life saver.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have seen people do it, Tony. It's just something that we just wouldn't or couldn't do. But yeah, I suppose the ones I have seen looked alright. Never done it. Oh yeah, butter. Unsalted butter. Garlic. I'm more for red onions now. I'm not keen... I will eat them, but I prefer red onions than brown or white. Spring onions are good. Or scallops? No. Do you like squid and stuff like that? Me? No. When we go visit High, he can take us out fishing. I'll give the fly fishing thingy a go. And I'll make him kiss it and put the fish back. And then I'll sit there and just enjoy the scenery. Yeah, I'll give that a go. I'll probably hook seeds. Yes. Good, High. You're supposed to do that when you catch and release. Add them to what? What are we adding to pasta? The prawns or the scallops?
Are they still cooking?
Yeah, I said to High when we're there, I said, you can teach me to fly fish, but then I will make him kiss and release, and then I'll sit back and enjoy the scenery while you finish fishing or whatever. And he said he will.
Sounds good.
Oh, scallops, yeah, no, I don't. I've tried all sorts of seafood, and
Scallops are good.
I'm just...
I like the roe left on when I cook them.
Yeah. I'm very fussy with seafood.
So you've been kissing frogs, Buttercup. Any princes pop up? Or just warts on your lips?
Yep, when you're not going to keep the fish.
Yeah, I could do that. Pretty easy to do. Looks really gourmet when you finish. Crispy bacon, prawn, just succulently cooked.
So it smells
Garlic
nice.
sauce.
Yeah, it smells nice when Seeds makes it, but what I do is I take the prawn out, give it to Seeds, and I eat the bacon and the sauce.
Oh, you like prawns in
Yeah, no, not
crumbed or
like-
battered?
Yeah, battered. Or not like what in the sauce though.
I probably made it quite a lot of my time, but I always make I'll make up a savoury rice or a combination rice, and I put it in a container, press it down, put it on the plate. Looks real flash. Looks like you're an expert, but all you've done is push rice into a bowl. And then I'll add the garlic sauce around the edges, and then I'll chuck the prawns in there, and people go devour. Garlic, prawns, bacon. Rice is only there to make it look pretty. It's real simple. I've always been, look, I could present a really flash meal and you go, oh wow, and I'm thinking, I just love flavour. So I'll probably just bung a bit of rice on your plate, put the garlic sauce on there, throw the prawns on and you go for it. I don't, you get a little bit of parsley over the top, make it pretty, and a couple of slivers of what, it's superfluous to me. It's like, let's get to the meat in the sandwich, let's get to the flavour. I could tell you a really complicated one that I've done in the past, which I don't do much. I haven't done it for a few years, but you get big prawns. Your big long banana or whatever prawns you can get in New Zealand. Good, from head to tail, 6 or 7 inches long or 8 inches long. And what I do is I detail it, and then I'll open it up to the point where it's all meat, and then I butterfly the big, because it's probably around about an inch round, the prawn. Butterfly it so it opens up. Then I make a mixture of, you can use whatever you like, but I use plum jam, homemade chilli paste, and then I might put a bit of ginger in there, or a bit of garlic, and I spread it on there, and then I roll it back up. Then I'll egg and breadcrumb that, so it's it looks about 1.5 inches wide now. And then I shallow fry. I never deep fry. I like to shallow fry. 4 minutes, crispy, crunchy, and when you open it up, and I put a bit of cheese in there as well. So when you cut into it, you got all that garlic, cheese, yum, and it's delicious. Oh, it's a pleasure, Patty.
Anytime, Paddy.
As far as I know, you're a good person, and good people shouldn't get hurt.
All right, Buddy.
See you, Buttercup. Fix that bloody door. But I don't mind spending time preparing a meal and cooking it. I enjoy that process. Now, lots of people don't have the time that I do have now, but I've always cooked. So it's like I didn't mind even when I come back from work and prep a meal and cook it. Some of the simple foods that please all the kids and whatever is like a big shepherd's pie or a lasagna. Just really basic, simple food that doesn't take a great deal of preparation, but tastes great. Yeah, it's like, I didn't do a video, but it was the other night the kids come around, I made braised steak and onions, and it was just to die for. Mashed potato, honey carrots, and fresh broccoli out the garden. And it wasn't, all the plates were nice and cleaned up. But they're hearty meals. Like the braised steak probably cooked for about 3.5 hours. It was just shin beef, and it was tender like you couldn't imagine. Well, the broccoli is it's sensational to eat your own produce out the garden. It's definitely different than when you buy it in the shop, isn't it? The carrots, the broccoli, all out the garden. Got a bit of work to do in the garden shortly because I'll be prepping for the spring plantings. Yeah, you don't even have to cook it at a high temp. I always, like with any meat that I'm gonna like braise, I'll sear it in a pan so it doesn't, people think a bit differently. I must think differently as well. What it does is, it not only does the searing, it does keep some of the juices in the meat, but it adds another flavour. Like you salt and pepper on the shin beef, put it in a fry pan down, then turn it over. See you later, Tony.
Night, Tony.
And then you braise it. So it's got an extra flavour from being seared, if you know what I mean, as well as keeping in the juices. But then, like, I always put a bit of raw onion on the bottom, and a real simple mix for those that, and there's other ways to do this, trust me, but a real simple mix. If you get half a cup of tomato sauce, half a cup of barbecue sauce, so you've got a full cup, pour that in, and then add 2 cups of water into it, add a bit of salt and pepper. That is a braising broth, if you like. And because over time, with the juices that come out of the meat and the onions, it becomes a superb flavour. If you want to thicken that up at the end, you take all the meat out and you just add a little bit of corn flour and water, gently mixed into the sauce, and it thickens up, and it's just to die for. So it's a real basic one. Half a cup of tomato, half a cup of barbecue, and then 2 cups of water. And that's your braising mixture. And everyone likes barbecue sauce and everyone likes tomato sauce, but it has a different mix when all the juices come out of the meat and the onions. Yum. Yeah, you must season your meat. Like I say, I rarely put salt in anything I cook, but if I'm doing that, I will salt and pepper the steak because I'm going to get that crust, I'm going to get that extra flavour. That's the reason I do it. But if you come into my house most of the time, I don't add salt, do I? To 99% of the cooking. I'll let you, when you get a nice soup or broth or stew I've made, put the salt and pepper in front of you. If you want to add a little bit extra, go for it. But I reckon about now, High Country is drooling so much that his keyboard or phone is going to be saturated. Just those potatoes and bacon and cheese are calling him. Hi. Hi. Yep, I always use HP in any stew or marinade I make. All right, Patty.
All right, take care, Patty.
Stay strong. Do what you can do. And like I say, after the next month, if you've done everything you can do, just let it go. Mustn't let things for the rest of your life drag you down because of other people's behaviour.
Keep your emotions in check, Patty. Just remember my words when you feel like you're going to lose it. Take a deep breath.
Always have chocolate on standby. Don't get angry, eat chocolate. Well, we're going to toodle off as well, I think. Ready for a toodle off?
Yeah.
It's been good to catch up with all of you. All the best to Patty. I ain't kissing yous. I have no idea where you've all been. Seriously. It's not going to happen. But have a great night if you're going to bed, and have a great day if you're just starting it. I want to see just a little video, of the potatoes with the bacon and the cheese. and your eyes getting closer to them, and them squealing saying, "Don't eat me." I wouldn't mind a little video of that. I reckon it should be a beaut. All right, everybody. Till next time. Be good, be safe,
I love you,
be
Paddy.
kind, and remember, be very careful during these times because they're shitty. See ya.